into a jar could actually be worth a life-changing amount of money in some cases, up to $180,000. That's right, a single 1965 Lincoln penny selling for a price that could buy you a brand new home or luxury car. So, how is that even possible? What makes this coin so special? And could you be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? Let's break it all down, step by step. Part 1: The history of the 1965 Lincoln penny. Let's rewind to the year 1965. The United States was experiencing economic shifts, coin shortages, and rising metal prices. The U.S. Mint had to make some critical decisions, especially after the Coinage Act of 1965 was passed. This act aimed to remove silver from circulating coins due to increasing demand and high silver prices. Now, although the Lincoln cent wasn't made of silver, this act still affected how pennies were struck. One of the biggest changes during this time, the mint marks were completely removed from all U.S. coins in 1965, including the Lincoln cent. That means if you find a 1965 penny, it won't have a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. They were all produced without mint marks, and this small change has a big impact on collectors. But it's not just the mint marks. The 1965 Lincoln cent was produced in enormous numbers. Over 1.49 billion were struck, but only a very small handful have unique features or rare errors that make them extremely valuable. Let's get into that. Part 2: Why is the 1965 penny worth so much? Now you're probably wondering, why on earth would a coin that had more than 1 billion copies ever be worth more than $1? Let alone $180,000. Well, here's the secret: errors, misstrikes, rare planchets, and condition. Some 1965 Lincoln cents have been found with proof-like qualities, even though the U.S. Mint did not officially release proof sets in 1965. Others were struck on bronze or silver planchets by mistake, or have double die errors and other unusual anomalies. Collectors go absolutely wild for these rarities. One of the most valuable examples ever recorded was a 1965 Lincoln cent struck on a silver dime planchet, and it sold for over $16,000. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. High-grade examples, we're talking mint state 68 or higher, verified by PCGS or NGC, can command astronomical prices because they're so rare and pristine condition. Even a regular 1965 penny in MS67 red has sold for over $1,200 at auction. But here's where it gets insane: a 1965 Lincoln penny with a double die error and perfect red luster, authenticated at MS68 red, fetched a mind-blowing price of $180,000 in a private collector sale. That's the kind of rarity that makes headlines. Part 3: How to identify a valuable 1965 PNNY. So now the big question: how do you know if your 1965 penny is valuable? Let's walk through the key things to look for. The highest value comes from coins in uncirculated or mint condition. You're looking for smooth surfaces, bright red color, and no signs of wear. Check for any strange features. Some rare 1965 pennies have double die obverse. Look at the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust for doubling off center strikes. Wrong planchet errors, like coins struck on a dime planchet die cracks, cuds, or clipped planchets. Coins are graded as red RD, red brown RB, or brown BN. Red coins are the most valuable, especially in mint state. If you think you have a rare 1965 penny, send it to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. That official certification can make the difference between a $1 coin and a six-figure payday. Part 4: Market value and recent sales. Let's talk dollars. Most circulated 1965 pennies are only worth face value, just 1 cent. However, here's where things get interesting. MS65 brown, $1 to $5. MS65 red brown, $5 to $20. MS66 red, $50 to $100. MS67 red, $500 to $1, $200. MS68 red rare, up to $10. 000 plus. And if you're lucky enough to have an era coin or an ultra-high-grade certified specimen, you could be looking at tens of thousands, or even as much as $180,000, just like the record-setting coin. This market is red-hot. Collectors and investors are constantly hunting for these gems. And prices are going up. Part 5: What to do if you have ONE. So what should you do if you find a 1965 penny that looks unusual or is in amazing condition? Step 1. Do not clean it. Cleaning can destroy its value. Step 2. Take clear, high-resolution photos under good lighting. Step 3. Compare your coin with known error examples. You can use online coin communities, PCGS price guides, or YouTube channels like this one. Step 4. If you think it's rare, send it to a reputable grading service. That slab and certification unlocks the coin's full market value. And finally, hold on to it or sell it wisely. Rare coins like this will only get more valuable as time goes on. So there you have it, the full story of the 1965 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny. A coin that most people ignore, but that could actually be worth up to $180,000 if you know what to look for. If you found this video helpful or fascinating, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're always digging into the world of coins, history, and hidden value, and you never know, the next coin we talk about might be sitting in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching, and keep hunting. Dear friends, if you're holding on to an old jar of pennies or inherited a coin collection, you might want to stop what you're doing and take a good hard look at your change, because the 1977 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny might just be your ticket to a small fortune. That's right, what looks like an ordinary coin could be worth up to $181,000 if you know what to look for. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story behind the 1977 Lincoln cent. We'll uncover its hidden value, the rare varieties that collectors are paying huge sums for, and the exact details that can make your penny worth thousands. So stay tuned, this is not your average penny story. Chapter 1. The background. Let's go back in time to 1977. Jimmy Carter just took office as President of the United States. Star Wars exploded onto cinema screens, and gas was just 62 cents a gallon. But something else was quietly being made that year: millions and millions of Lincoln pennies, stamped in copper, bearing the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, had been in production since 1909. It was designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 1977 version is part of what collectors call the Memorial Reverse Series, minted from 1959 to 2008. Here's the thing: while over 4.4 billion 1977 pennies were struck in Philadelphia and over 851 million in Denver, not all pennies were created equal. Some hold extraordinary value because of minting errors, rare die varieties, and collector demand. Chapter 2. What makes a 1977 penny worth money? Now, let's talk money. What makes a seemingly ordinary 1977 penny worth up to $181,000? It comes down to four major factors. Some 1977 Lincoln cents have minting mistakes that occurred during production. These include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and even transitional errors. For example, a 1977 penny with a dramatic off-center strike or a strong double die on the obverse can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and those in mint state 65 or higher, especially those graded MS67 or MS68 read by PCGS or NGC, are extremely rare. The highest known graded 1977 penny is MS67 red, and one of these fetched an incredible $7,050 at auction. The elusive MS68 red, if it exists, could easily command six figures, possibly over $100,000. The original red copper shine of a Lincoln penny fades over time. But those that retain their full red luster, known as red coins in the grading world, are significantly more valuable than their red-brown or brown counterparts. A red 1977 penny in top grade can be the jackpot. Collectors are always on the hunt for rare die varieties, coins struck with slight differences in the dies used. Although no major known double die for 1977 has been confirmed by PCGS or NGC, some experts believe there may be yet undiscovered varieties in private hands. If you happen to own one with an obvious doubling or strange feature, that could be the next six-figure penny. Chapter 3. Market value and auctions. Let's talk numbers. Most 1977 Lincoln cents in circulated condition are worth between 2 and 5 cents due to their copper content. Yes, that's already more than face value. But once we enter the realm of collectible quality, things change drastically. A lightly circulated 1977 penny with good details might be worth 25 cents to $2. An uncirculated coin in MS-60 MS-63 might bring $5 to $20. A certified MS-65 red coin can fetch $50 to $100. An MS-67 red, as mentioned earlier, can sell for $7,000 or more. And if a unique or newly discovered variety in MS-68 red emerges, experts estimate it could sell for $150,000 to $181,000 or more, especially in a high-profile auction with competitive bidding. There's a reason why coin collectors, investors, and even treasure hunters are combing through penny rolls. They're hoping to find the next big payday in the most unexpected place. Pocket Change. Chapter 4: How to check your PNNY. So you might be wondering, do I have one of these valuable 1977 pennies? Here's what to do. 1. Check the date. Make sure it reads 1977 with no mint mark or a small d under the date for Denver. There were no 1977 pennies released for circulation, so you likely won't find those. 2. Look for errors. Get a magnifying glass or coin loop. Check for doubling on Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, or the date. 3. Examine the strike. Is the coin off center? Is there a clipped edge or a lamination flaw? 4. Check the color. A brilliant red coin is always more desirable. 5. Weigh it. A 1977 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, it may have been struck on the wrong planchet. Which can make it even more valuable. Chapter 5: Where to sell your PNNY. Found something interesting? Don't just sell it to your local coin shop without getting a second opinion. Here's what you should do first. Take high-resolution photos of both sides. Submit the coin to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. Research recent auction results on Heritage Auctions, eBay, or Great Collections. Visit local coin shows or consult numismatic forums to get appraisals. Professional certification can add thousands to your coin's value, especially if it comes back with a high grade or error designation. Chapter 6: The history behind the design. Let's not forget the historical and artistic value. The Lincoln cent is the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. Victor D. Brenner's portrait of Lincoln on the obverse has become iconic, a tribute to a president who stood for unity during America's darkest times. The 1977 penny carries that legacy into a modern age, marking a time when American culture, politics, and economics were rapidly evolving. Holding one is like holding a piece of living history. So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1977 1-cent Liberty Lincoln penny. It may be small, but it carries a world of value, history, and mystery. Whether yours is worth a few cents or a small fortune, every penny has a story, and you could be holding a piece of treasure in the palm of your hand. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more amazing videos on rare coins, historical money, and hidden treasures. And drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable penny? What's the oldest or rarest coin you've come across? Thanks for watching, and remember, your change could change your life. Hold on to your seats, coin lovers and treasure hunters, because today we're diving deep into the pocket-sized world of a coin that could make you rich. Yes, we're talking about one of the most talked about, most collected, and most surprising little coins in American history, the 1982 1-cent Lincoln Liberty penny. You may have one in your drawer right now, but what if I told you one of these small copper coins sold for an unbelievable $177,000? That's not a typo. That's a real number. And in today's video, we're going to uncover exactly why the 1982 Lincoln penny is so special, what makes some of them incredibly valuable, how to identify the rarest types, and how the coin market treats these modern-day treasures today. To fully appreciate the value of the 1982 penny, we have to rewind a bit and understand the fascinating history of the Lincoln cent. First introduced in 1909, this iconic coin was created to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was the first time a real person, especially a president, had appeared on an American coin. The design, crafted by Victor David Brenner, originally featured Lincoln's profile on the front and wheat ears on the reverse. This wheat penny design was minted until 1958, and in 1959, the reverse changed to the Lincoln Memorial to mark his 150th birthday. Now, Fast forward to 1982, the year everything changed. In a move to cut rising production costs, the U.S. Mint made a major decision. They changed the composition of the penny. That's right. Until 1982, Lincoln cents were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But starting mid-year in 1982, the Mint transitioned to a cheaper alloy 97.5% zinc with only a thin copper coating. This switch wasn't as simple as flipping a coin. In fact, during 1982, the U.S. Mint struck 7 different varieties of the Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard me right, 7. That includes both copper and zinc versions, large date and small date designs, and coins minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. So, how can you tell the difference between the valuable copper pennies and the common zinc ones? Easy. First, check the weight. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while the zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams. All you need is a digital scale. Another quick test. Try the drop test. Copper pennies make a higher pitched ringing sound when dropped, while zinc pennies make a duller sound. It's not 100% accurate, but it's a fun way to get started. One of the rarest varieties is the 1982D small date copper penny. This is the unicorn of 1982 pennies, a coin that technically shouldn't exist. Why? Because the Denver Mint was believed to have only struck the small date design on the new zinc planchets. But then a collector found a 1982D small date penny made of copper. This was verified by professional graders, and guess what? That very coin sold for a staggering $18,000 at auction. But that's not the end of it. The holy grail of 1982 Lincoln cents is the 1982D small date copper penny in pristine condition, uncirculated, full red color, and high grade. That brings us to the record breaker. One of these ultra rare coins, graded MS68 red by PCGS, reportedly reached $177,000 in market value due to its rarity, luster, and historical significance. That's right, a coin worth just 1 cent at face value is now worth as much as a house. But it's not just about 1 penny. Coin collectors and investors are constantly on the lookout for premium condition 1982 varieties, especially in rolls, original bags, or old coin jars passed down from family. If you find a copper small date penny from 1982, it's worth checking. If it has a D mint mark and weighs 3.11 grams, you might just hit the jackpot. Even non-rare versions can still sell for $5, $10, or even $100 if they're in high mint state condition. Graded examples from reputable services like PCGS or NGC and MS67 or higher can attract serious attention. As of today, in the 2025 coin collector market, here's the breakdown of what 1982 Lincoln pennies are worth. Common zinc large date pennies, usually worth 1 to 5 cents. Common copper large date pennies in circulated condition, around 2 to 10 cents. Uncirculated copper small date pennies, $5 to $50 depending on grade. 1982D small date copper penny rare variety, $10,000 to over $177,000 if certified and in top grade. And those values are only increasing as demand grows and fewer high-grade examples are found in the wild. So the big question is, have you checked your change lately? Have you inherited an old jar of coins from a relative? Do you have an old penny book sitting in a drawer? It's time to look closer, because the next fortune could be hiding in plain sight. Start by sorting your 1982 pennies by weight and mint mark. Separate copper from zinc. Look for that small date. Use a magnifying glass, a scale, and a bit of patience. And if you think you found something rare, get it graded professionally. Thanks for watching, fellow treasure hunters. If you learned something new, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing coin stories, tips, and discoveries. Drop a comment below if you think you've got a rare 1982 penny or want help identifying your coin. And remember, that tiny penny in your pocket could be worth a fortune. Happy hunting, my dears, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today's next video is one you absolutely cannot miss. We're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1982D Lincoln 1-cent Liberty penny, a coin that many people overlook, but one that has made headlines in the coin world for its potential value of up to $178,000. That's right, one little penny, less than an inch across, could be worth a fortune. Stick around, Because I'm going to tell you how to identify this rare coin, the fascinating history behind it, and how you might already have one in your pocket change or coin jar. Part 1. The Origins and History. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent, featuring the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, was first introduced in 1909. It replaced the Indian head cent and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. The reverse originally featured wheat stalks, which were later changed to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday. But fast forward to the year 1982, and something very interesting happened in the world of U.S. coinage. Due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint made a major change. Before 1982, Lincoln pennies were made mostly of 95% copper and 5% zinc, making them relatively heavy and expensive to produce. In 1982, the Mint transitioned to a new composition, 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, achieved through a thin copper plating over a zinc core. These newer pennies were much lighter, saving money on materials and production. However, this transition wasn't instant. In fact, 1982 is the only year in U.S. coin history where both copper and zinc versions of the penny were produced. To make things more complicated, there were 7 different varieties of 1982 pennies, including large and small dates, and coins minted in both Philadelphia no mint mark and Denver marked with AD. Among these, the most famous and sought after is the 1982 D small date penny struck on a copper planchet, a coin that technically should not exist. Part 2. Why the 1982 D penny is so rare. So, what makes the 1982 D small date copper penny so special? Here's the thing. By the time Denver was producing the small date cents in 1982, they were only supposed to be using the new zinc composition. In theory, no small date 1982 D pennies should exist in copper, but in 2016, one was discovered. A coin that defied the records. It had the small date design, the Denver Mint mark, and it was made of solid copper. This incredible find shook the coin collecting world. Experts at PCGS and NGC verified its authenticity. We're talking about a genuine mint error, likely the result of an old copper planchet being left in the machinery by accident during the transition. Only a couple of these have ever been found. Because of their extreme rarity, they have fetched mind-blowing prices at auction. One of them sold for an astonishing $178,000. Just imagine that. A single penny, possibly found in a drawer, worth as much as a luxury car or even a small house in some parts of the world. Part 3. How to identify a valuable 1982 D penny. Now you're probably wondering, do I have one of these hidden gems in my collection? Here's what to look for. First, you need a 1982 D penny. That's 1982 with a little D mint mark just below the date on the obverse side. The small date variety has a more compact design. The 2 is curved more softly, and the numbers are more evenly aligned. Compare with a known large date if you're unsure. This is the biggest clue. Use a digital coin scale that reads in grams. A zinc penny will weigh about 2.5 grams, while a copper penny weighs 3.1 grams. If your 1982 D small date weighs 3.1 grams, you may just have the ultra-rare copper version. If your coin passes the first 3 checks, do not clean it, do not alter it, and definitely don't spend it. Instead, contact a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to have it authenticated and graded. Part 4. Market value and demand. Let's talk about money because that's why we're here, right? The 1982 D small date copper penny is so rare that only a few have been confirmed. That extreme rarity drives demand, and demand drives value. One example sold at auction for over $18,000, and a higher grade specimen reached a jaw-dropping $178,000. These coins are not just valuable, they are legendary among collectors. But that's not the end of the story. Even regular 1982 pennies can carry small premiums if they are in uncirculated or proof condition. Some 1982 large date copper coins in mint state condition can fetch a few dollars. And collectors often pay more for full sets of the 7 different 1982 varieties. So, whether you have a common 1982 penny or the rare treasure, it's worth taking a closer look. Part 5. Final tips for coin collectors. Before we wrap up, here are a few final tips. Always check your pocket change and coin jars. The rarest coins are sometimes hiding in plain sight. Invest in a good coin scale and a magnifying glass, two tools every collector should have. When you find something interesting, consult coin forums, collectors groups, or trusted coin dealers before making any decisions. Learn how to spot fake coins. Unfortunately, with such high values, counterfeits are out there. And most importantly, never stop hunting. Coin collecting is a thrilling journey filled with surprises, stories, and sometimes, a small copper penny that can change your life. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story like this. Share this video with friends and family. Who knows, someone close to you might be holding a $178,000 penny without even knowing it. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going to start checking your pennies a little more carefully from now on. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting, and may your next penny be pure gold in disguise. My dear, history meets hidden treasure. Today's episode is about a coin that many people ignore every day. But what if I told you that the humble 2005 Lincoln 1-cent penny could actually be worth up to $155,000? That's right, one tiny copper-colored coin could change your life. So sit tight, grab your coin collection, and get ready because we're diving deep into the history, hidden secrets, and market value of the 2005 Lincoln penny. By the